Hi there, welcome to another episode of the Dunbar Dog Diaries. Today we're going to have our second session with Knox, our 1-year-old Belgian Shepherd. We're still working on her object exchanges, her release word. It's going really well. I'll give you an update on that soon. But today I'd like to further work on her attention and start her formal training by teaching her her reward marker word, her verbal reward marker. I'm going to use the word yes to be an active release and a word that means, yes, you nailed that exercise, now come and get your reward. And so I have to lend meaning to the word. Right now, yes doesn't mean anything to her. Another thing that doesn't mean anything to her right now is her name. You know her name is Knox. I named her that last week, but I've not used that name with her in the time that I've had her. I've called her Girly or a little pup or a cutie pie, and I've kept her name out of our daily interactions so she didn't just pick up on it. But I do want her to know her name. Think about this though. What is a name to a dog, or even to your friends? A name is an attention getter. It's a call to pay attention. It is not necessarily anything else. I want her to know her name, and I want her to associate her name with looking at me, just like you would do so with a friend. If someone says, hey Kelly, I'm going to go, oh. Look at them, attend to them, and then wait to see what they have to say. I think the same should be true with the dogs. You don't want to just say, Knox, Knox, oh Knox, Knox, and then not give any further instruction. It is not a cue or an instruction. It is simply an attention getter. So please make sure to follow up your use of your dog's name by then giving them sort of instruction or reward or whatever you may need to do. On that note, also, please don't use your dog's name in that shameful way as a punisher. You want your dog to see their name as a happy thing that brings attention and begins a communication, a conversation with you, not something that means they're in trouble. So let's get started today. We never really do know what's going to happen, but I do think I've got her taking food now, so we're going to charge her word and we're going to teach her her name, and hopefully it all will go well. Let's get to it. Okay, so here we go. She seems relatively calm at the moment. It doesn't take much to get her excited. I'm going to actually start with the name recognition before the reward marker charging, because once I start charging that reward marker, I don't think she's going to look away from me very much, so I'm going to use her inattention right now to see if I can't teach her her name. Wait till she's not paying attention, simply say her name, and then elicit the behavior with a little kissy noise or movement. As you can see, it doesn't take much to get her to focus. Let me try to get her to go away again. Knox! Good. You can see, she came to me because I said something and moved, but no, didn't see any kind of recognition there, and you wouldn't. Knox! I'm not pulling on the leash. I'm using my voice and my body language to get her attention. I don't want there to be a physical cue. Knox! I am using the leash to thwart her from walking away, however, so it gets tight when she's not paying attention. Knox! Pup works. Whoops. Tried feeding her a little bit there. See, she's taking her food today nicely. Let her explore the room again, ignore her a bit. Knox! Good. That time she raised her head more quickly. Knox! Good girl. I'm not waiting for her to get super distracted. The longer she's not been attending to me, the harder it will be to get her back. So the sniffing at the ground at my feet is really kind of a nice start. If she's fully engaged looking at something else like another dog, I don't even think this would work. She's kind of on to me now, so we'll see if I can get her to look away again. Knox! Good girl. All I want her really to do is head turn towards me. Knox! Good! And then I can, reward her with my voice and my movement. But you see how the quick head turn happened that time? I'm simply moving so that maybe I can distract her, change the orientation. Knox. Good. I just want Knox to have relevance for her. Knox. Good. Now, let's see. Knox. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Gonna make a distraction. I don't want to really throw something and get her too excited, but I'll try it, I guess. Knox. Good girl. The noise is still necessary by little kissy noises, or especially when I added a more difficult challenge there, like a distracting item. But it's okay. She's getting repetition. She's starting to understand that every time I say Knox, if she comes to me, something good happens. She gets cheese in this case. And if they're clever, they stop not attending to you, and you start to get your attention. Knox. Good girl. Knox. Yeah. Very nice. Good girl. Very sweet. So now she's starting to focus on me. Do one more. She's not even falling for it anymore, really. She's like, what do you want, lady? Oh, what a good girl. Okay, well, she seems to have had enough of the name game now. You can do this with other people, calling her back and forth in a small room. This is not a recall. It's just simply, does she turn and look at me? If she turns and looks at me, then she gets a reward. You know, she gets some kind of excitement. Now, I am going to teach her reward marker. We didn't really need it for the name game, but now, while she's already sitting and attending to me, it's a perfect time to do the game because she doesn't need to be doing any specific behavior for me to charge her reward marker. She can be sitting, she can be standing, she can, be, whatever, do whatever she wants. I just want her to understand that when I say YES, that a reward is coming. So sitting and paying attention is fine. And now you'll see, I'm going to try her name first. Knox! Yes! Got 2 for 1 there. Yes meant nothing, but the Knox did. Yes! Yes! You can even toss it. Doesn't have to be from your hand. I do most of my work from my hand personally. In the future, I don't like dropping food on the floor as a reward most of the time. Never say never. But for this game, it's kind of nice because it allows you to reset the dog. Although I'm talking to you, so I just took too long. So I'll do that again. Yes. I'm also getting, yes. Free attention here if I wait too long because she is expecting a reward. Yes. Oh, did you see that? Quick turn, a head snap. Yes. Sometimes she's looking at me, sometimes she's not. Yes. She sat, I'll use that. Now again, I'm not necessarily rewarding anything specific. Yes. Yes. I do like this to be kind of a more explosive reward, so I'm going to do a little movement now too. So, yes. Come on. Come on. She doesn't understand that yet. Yes. Oh, good, 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 good. Have her chase the food either on the floor or in my hand a little bit. Yes. I don't know why she's so subdued right now. Believe me, she still has crazy time in her. We haven't done any training sessions that you haven't seen, really. So, I mean, other than maybe a little no jump. Yes. Come on. Get it. Yes. Oops. Uh-oh. Bad trainer. So I'll throw another one. She couldn't get that one to roll out of her way. Yes. 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 This makes for a nice explosive reward. This is for when I'm going to reward her out, yes, out of a position to being free. So she just did something perfectly. I want her to end the exercise. I'm going to say yes, and reward her. Yes. That means end of exercise. So it's not the most dynamic work, but it's super important. And what you know you're doing it right when you can see that the dog is, whipping their head around to you when you say their name or when you say yes. Yes. It means there's an expectation on their part, which means that they've started to make that connection. Yes. Good. Yes. Good girl. Knox. Why are you being so subdued? You're so funny. Okay, so I think she'll be fine. I think she gets the idea. Yes. That cheese is coming, or something delicious or fun. Yes. Come on. Woo, chase it. When I say the word. Yes. Yes. Good. All done. Free dog. And that's today's simple lesson. So clearly she did not know her name when we started. I really did try to protect that and not use her name in this, the last couple of days, or since I named her in my head. But she did pick it up very quickly. The key here is to make sure that you use the sequence properly to teach a new cue, or in this case just the relevance of her name, is to say the word first that is irrelevant, and then do something to elicit her attention. I made the kissy sound most of the time just because she would orient to that, and as soon as she oriented to me, I would reward her for that. So the word comes before the verbal prompt of the kissing noises, or you could use clapping of hands or whatever you want to do. And then soon the new word that has no relevance becomes relevant as she anticipates that, I'm trying to call her to attention, and it becomes a call to attention, which is really what a name is, right? And then the second part, we worked on just the verbal reward marker, and which I chose yes as her word. This is an explosive release reward marker, meaning she doesn't have to stay in position. I wouldn't use yes and keep her in a stay. Yes means end of exercise, come to me and get your reward. And she picked that up very quickly, although she was a little confused about coming to me and getting out of position. She is very dedicated to the idea that sit is a good thing right now, and that's okay, because the last thing that we really worked on was sitting for attention and sitting to not jump on me. So I did have to kind of get her to move and try to get her to be more explosive. That will come more with time. The big takeaway here for you is that when you're just charging your reward marker, your verbal reward marker, it doesn't matter what the dog is doing. She could be standing, she could be sitting, she could be looking at you, she could be looking away, sniffing the ground. We're only trying to make an association with this word in this initial session. This is the only time that she can be doing anything for that reward, because it doesn't yet have relevance. But in the future, that will be the reward marker and the promise of a reward to come. And you do want to protect that by making sure that if you do use the verbal reward marker, you do reward every time. It's a promise of the reward. But literally, we're just trying to attach a relevance and an expectation to this word. So I thought that went pretty well. I was really pleased with her, and now we have a couple of extra tools to really kind of get into the meat and potatoes of training. So we'll see you next time.